Hello. Thank you all for joining me today for another episode of Social Media Talk. Today I'll be accompanied by Associate Professor Yöney Kırsal to discuss the Department of Software Engineering. Please be reminded, if you have any questions, feel free to ask down below in the comment section and or on any of our platforms, as well as our email info@kyrenia.edu. Bear with me for a moment while we get her connected.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for taking
thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here.
And thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. To start off, may we know a little bit more about you, your education background, where you are from, and how you became a part of the University of Kyrenia family?
Thanks again for the opportunity. Like as I said, I'm very well delighted to be here today. Actually, I'm from here, from North Cyprus. I was born and brought up in Güzel area. So before I proceed my postgraduate and PhD degree, my undergraduate study was in Eastern Mediterranean University, Famagusta, in computer engineering. That time we didn't have any software engineering. And when I graduated in July 2002, I went to the United Kingdom, University of Surrey, for my master's degree. And then I proceeded with the Middlesex University in London for my PhD study. And after my graduation, I continued as an academic in the School of Engineering and Information Sciences. And after, let's say, the 11 years, I and my husband decided to back to home. And here I am.
Well, we're glad to have you part of the family. There's nothing like home. Can you explain a little bit about what software engineering is?
Of course I can. Software engineering actually is a quite new discipline, let's say, considering back like the last 2 decades. So it is an engineering discipline, basically, which is concerned with all aspects of the software production. Let me put in this way, if I can say, is a branch of computer science or computer engineering program, which deals with the design, implementation, testing, and the maintenance of complex computer programs. And if you become a software engineer, you have a chance to develop softwares like operating systems, games, business application, network control system, and whatsoever.
And what are some opportunities and advantages to this department? I know you just mentioned a couple there, but could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. Even now, as I said, if you're not working as a software engineering department, most of the computer science and engineering students look forward to joining the software industry because of the job of the flexibility, lucrative career options, and these are getting tremendous growth. And there are many companies, either in the software development, the companies and all the other sides. So as you know, nowadays everything is on the multidisciplinary. So the software engineers and the developers are quite very popular, and especially nowadays that they consider that we are in the very unexpected under circumstances. So one of the major the people who doesn't lose their jobs is the software engineers, because they can work at home anytime, anywhere, if you have a laptop and internet connection. So as I said, you can work as a freelancer, you can join a company, you can get job abroad even without leaving your home country or home. They're saying that you have the options, with the different options, as they say, the technology is deleting you. So that's the advantage for the software engineering department, I can say.
And this is one of our new departments. So could you tell us a little bit about what to expect from the department itself? Like, what would the program consist of?
Yes, as I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, our department's curriculum, when we are developing the curriculum with our dean and other academics, is saying that we follow the globally acclaimed universities' curriculums for the software engineering. And the software engineering offers education parallel with the computer engineering department. We have that quite international distinguished full-time staff and academics all around the world. Even if they're from there, as I say, Cyprus, their education from outside Cyprus, they have a chance to live and face the different academic backgrounds. So as well as that, we have the quite fully equipped software and hardware labs, which that our students can share with the computer engineer students. They can do the theory and practice combined in the combined courses or the separately. So we are quite new, but the being new is this time is giving the advantage, following the newest technology and the newest options that they can face off.
And for the prospective students, to give them an idea, from your experiencing in teaching, what makes a successful student? What qualities would they have? Like when a student walks into your classroom, what are 3 expectations from the students?
In general, first of all, if it's going to be it is in the university degree and undergraduate course, so it's not going to be similar with the high school experience. On top of it, the thing that, as I said, we are an engineering discipline. So this is the main common mistakes that the people face. When they say the software engineering department, or even at the beginning of when the student comes, they think that the programming is enough. No, programming or the programming skills or writing codes in the different languages, yes, you need to know. But since this is an engineering discipline, you have to have the good knowledge about the physics, calculus, algebra, as well as the computer science courses like programming, let's say understanding the hardware's architecture. So if I back to your question, like the saying, the top 3 expectations that I can expect, that if they have after the first semester, let's say, first semester, if they have a good knowledge, good outcome from the physics, calculus, and the programming courses, and the following years, they will not have difficulties when they're studying their second or the third years and forward.
And in your opinion, why should these students choose software engineering department at the University of Girne? What will make us stand out from the rest?
First of all, as we discussed earlier, this is a very new department, is established newly, but our management did a very good work on the side. We have accredited with the YÖK and YÖDAK, which is a part of our education, governmental education bodies. And on top of it, our students will have the access of the up-to-date information regarding in their fields. They will have the academics from the different kind of the part of the world with the different experiences, educational experiences, different expertise. They will, on top of it, they will have a group of graduate students from which they help them to assist them on the research and the study. On the other hand, the thing that, as we said, the world at the moment has a quite intensive pandemic situation, and it shows us that the old traditional ways of learning, teaching it should be there, but the technology is the way of the leading it. So we need a different workplaces. We have to adapt ourselves to work in different environments. So in terms of these, when we combine them, software engineering, or if you become a software engineer, or if you study in software engineering, we will have an option to work in these flexible. You will have this flexibility basically. You will have this understanding of the solving the problems without being the remote on on a standalone place. So that's the thing that I can say.
And is there any available opportunity to have a second degree in 4 years for prospective software engineering students?
If our students, let's say the prospective students is going to join with us, we are, as I said, software engineering is kind of a mirror program with the computer engineering because it's a new concept. So our students will have the 2 major degrees, and they have a chance to get the second major in computer engineering if they want to have. Or if they're successful, we are going to let's say encourage them to have their second degree, and so that when they're going to graduate, it means that they will have the 2 different diplomas in the engineering from engineering faculty, as well as we have the minor degree program. We will provide them the certificate programs with electrical and electronics engineering. And these are the most collaborative departments that that they can have a chance to study, to do, and get the experience. And the most importantly, they will have their proof. They will have their diplomas and the certificates showing that they have the knowledge.
And could you elaborate a little bit more on how will it benefit the student by having a double diploma when they graduate?
It will show them like this. So if they're going to get employed, or even if they're going to work as a freelancer, that they will have both a chance of saying that work either depends on their say the preference. Let's say that they can work different fields. They can join the academia to teach some the engineering courses. On the other hand, they can work as a computer engineering on the hardware part. They can be the architecture engineer for the developing the network systems, or they can work as the software developers. In either they can be the application developer, they could be the system developer. What it means is that they can be on the field. They can work different nowadays. As I said, the way of entertainment is changing. Like we have the Netflix, Amazon Prime, and the other things. So what these kind of places, or they really like to looking forward the engineers, quite good software engineers as well as the computer engineers, because it will say that programming comes up with it means that you provide the security. So they could be the security analyst. So if you have 2 diplomas from different disciplines, that means that you have the qualification of the knowledge of these 2 disciplines, and you can work in more dilute angle, let's say.
So it will give the students double the opportunities.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, open many more doors.
Exactly.
And what would be the advantages of a student studying a postgraduate degree in this field?
I can say that if you're going to make a master's degree, so let's say Master of Science in Software Engineering, again, if you have if you don't do a double major, let me start in this way. If you're a software engineer, you have an option to study as a computer engineering in your master's degree. If you are the software engineer and continue, you are going to get the advanced and the knowledge for the principle of modern software engineering techniques, the tools, the methods, and the applications, and as well as it will offer the working in the professional environment rather than the academia, rather inside the university. So going to give you the chance to experience your knowledge in practice as well. So as I said, if software engineering is getting more competitive and demanding among the students, and even the thing that nowadays we check that a number of scholarship opportunities are provided for the students from all around the world if they want to study. So if they're going to proceed for the postgraduate degree, they could have a good opportunity to have a scholarships as well during their studies.
And what advice could you give our prospective students to prepare themselves for during the undergraduate and postgraduate studies? While they're studying, what kind of things should they expect or prepare themselves for?
As we said, and the engineering, the word engineering makes the people a bit uncomfortable. They think that because it's like the calculation, drawing up, we have the physics, chemistry, and the mathematics circle. Apart from it, I could say that yes, we have them, but they will have to. As I always tell my students in the class, saying that when they come first to join, they're learning the software or learning the different writing, the programming languages is kind of the way that you are representing yourself, because like everybody has the different speaking, or saying they're using different body languages. If you become as a software engineering, it's going to, during this 4 years of time, you will have a chance to represent yourself and present yourself. There is no only one single rule to learn it. So that's the main let's say fun part of it. It's saying that the rules, you have the tool, but you can represent yourself in a way that they like the individually. So of course there are the programs that the courses that we'll have, which, as I said, quite theoretic and let's say straightforward, the beginning and the end, the middle and end. But the majority of the software courses that we're gonna have, that's the nature. So we are going to build them there. Of course, again, depends on they will lecturers, but that everything is not like the listening and the memorizing. So the students have the chance to adapt themselves. They will try while they're listening in the class. They will do it in the practice, and they get the experience. So that's the thing I can say for our prospective students. That's the thing that they could expect.
Well, thank you for your advice. And so we came to the end of this broadcast, but before we leave, could I ask you, do you have any anecdotes that you'd like to share with us about your student years? Any memories you may have that you'd like to share with us? It could even be
as my students, I can when from the teaching, or when I was a student, I said that I must say that I'm a bit more jealous that I prefer to be a student nowadays rather than okay, I'm not that much old, but considering that I graduated in 2002, I saying that my academics and the way that I learned the engineering, as I said, is more theoretical and less practical, and there is not too much we did, and the technology is not that much option. We didn't have access this much opportunities, so having the practice we didn't have that much options to have the practice. So when we have any practice, or when we go to the summer training, let's say, it was like a unbelievable experience. But nowadays the students have much more options. We have the much better labs, the computer facilities. We can access the information all around the world in just in seconds. Again, another thing that we said, we realized that standing alone on a position, but you are reaching the other people and the education information. That's amazing. That's the thing that I envy, because we didn't have that on back 20 years ago, let's say.
Yes, it does change over time, and in next 20 years, again, it will change very much so.
Definitely, it's moving very, very fast, and so maybe that, as we said, maybe we could be even we're saying that we're going to be part of the education. It started actually. I mean, we are here, but we are doing online education. We are doing distance learning and everything, and it is quite nice actually. I think that even if for the following years or the semesters, again, if our students could be joined, let's see, they could enjoy it. I am sure that they will enjoy the experience.
Yes, definitely. So that is all we do have time for today. Thank you very much, Professor Yöney, for taking time out of your day to join us, and I hope that we can do this again soon.
I hope so. It was lovely to talk to you guys, and saying that as I said, I'm really looking forward to meet our students. Let's say who is going to be part of our school and join the lovely Kairinya.
Yes, we can't wait to have you with us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching. Please join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST here on Facebook, where I'll be accompanied by Assistant Professor Ahmed Zafar to discuss the Department of International Relations. Until then, safe and goodbye.